Marcus Reed had worked his whole life to buy a ranch outside of town. With acres of land, horses grazing freely, and a sturdy wooden gate marking the entrance, it was everything he had dreamed of. For him, the gate wasn't just wood and steel, it was a symbol of his hard work, boundaries, and peace. But his new neighbor, Karen from the local HOA, didn't see it that way. Instead of respecting Marcus's property, she treated his gate like an inconvenience. Whenever she felt like taking a shortcut, she would drive right through his private entrance, sometimes honking as if he were in her way. At first, Marcus tried politeness. He walked over, introduced himself, and asked her not to use his gate. Karen laughed in his face. "It's faster this way." "You don't own the whole road," she snapped, though Marcus clearly did. As weeks passed, the problem grew worse. Not only did Karen keep driving through, but other HOA members began following her example. Trucks, SUVs, and even golf carts left tire tracks across Marcus's land. One evening, Marcus stood by the gate watching yet another car fly through. His hands clenched. "Enough," he whispered to himself. He wasn't a man who sought revenge, but he believed in justice, and justice meant teaching them a lesson they would never forget. Marcus wasn't reckless. He knew he couldn't confront the HOA directly without them twisting the story against him. Instead, he turned to his upbringing. His grandfather, a rancher, used to say, "If people don't respect your boundaries, make them respect the land itself." He started sketching a plan in his notebook. He reinforced the gate, but not in an obvious way. The hinges were strengthened with steel, the posts set deeper into the ground. From the outside, it looked like the same old wooden gate, but it was now nearly indestructible. Next, he placed a motion-triggered camera nearby. If Karen or anyone else tried to force their way in, he'd have proof. Then came the clever part. Marcus knew the HOA members liked to speed through his land, so he laid a hidden strip of nails just beyond the gate. Not enough to cause an accident, but enough to flatten tires. To any driver, it would look like bad luck. He finished his trap with a large, polite sign, "Private property, trespassers will be recorded." Now all he had to do was wait. It didn't take long. That weekend, Karen came barreling down the road in her SUV, music blasting, her usual smug grin plastered across her face. She slowed just enough to honk twice before trying to push through Marcus's gate. But this time, the gate didn't budge. Instead, her SUV slammed to a halt with a loud thud. Shocked, she threw it in reverse, only to hear the hiss of her tires deflating. Within seconds, all four wheels were flat. Marcus stepped out of his porch with his phone in hand, calmly recording the entire scene. "Morning, Karen," he said coolly. Karen's face turned red. You sabotaged me." "This is illegal," she shrieked. Marcus shook his head. "No, Karen. You've been trespassing for weeks. The sign's right there. The camera caught everything. This is my property, and you've disrespected it for the last time." Other neighbors soon gathered to watch, whispering as Karen stomped and shouted, her SUV sitting helplessly on four flat tires. For the first time, she looked powerless. The HOA tried to come after Marcus, but the video evidence told the full story. Not only had Karen trespassed repeatedly, but she had encouraged others to do the same. Faced with undeniable proof, the board was forced to back down. Karen, humiliated, had to pay for her own repairs and could no longer use Marcus's land as her shortcut. The incident spread quickly through the neighborhood, and soon everyone knew not to mess with Marcus's property. Marcus didn't celebrate with anger or revenge. Instead, he simply smiled and enjoyed the peace of his ranch. He hadn't fought with fists or words, he had used patience, strategy, and respect for his own boundaries. The moral was clear: respecting others' property is respecting their hard work and dignity. Crossing boundaries only leads to consequences. Marcus returned to his porch, watching the sunset stretch across his land. His ranch was finally his again, quiet, safe, and respected.